Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, a call to relax quarantine restrictions in Metro Manila as the economy tries to bounce back from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. But experts are sounding the alarm over the proposal amid a spike in cases in some cities, as well as the threat of the more transmissible UK variant. Trade Secretary Mon Lopez and OCTA Research Fellow Guido join us live. Authorities have yet to decide on next month's quarantine classifications, but experts from the OCTA research team are laying down the facts to guide our leaders. Both Metro Manila and Metro Manila are showing a flat trend in the average number of daily COVID cases. The national average is now at about 1,600 new cases per day. OCTA researchers say although Metro Manila is recording a negative growth rate, 8 cities are showing increased cases based on health department data. OCTA is also expressing alarm over the reality that the more contagious and lethal UK variant is already present in NCR and is possibly spreading in communities. They say it is premature to relax the current restrictions in the national capital region given the current projections. Let's go straight to the source of the story. First off, we have Trade Secretary Mon Lopez. Secretary Lopez, welcome to the source and thank you so much for your time, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Pinky. Good morning to everyone.
Secretary, while of course there is a need to generate more jobs, to spur the economy, OCTA is already saying that a possible shift to an MGCQ could be premature right now.
You know, we've been reopening Pinky since last August. I think even last July, reopening sectors and also relaxing also community quarantine. And as long as we found out that the formula is really a gradual and safe relaxation of closed sectors. And I'm not referring to relaxation of health protocols. So we've proven that over time, as we were relaxing economic restrictions, we even saw the reduction in COVID cases from 4,000 cases per day to 2,000, and now we're hitting below 2,000. So I think we're confident to say naman that as long as, again, what the key here is the compliance of ating mga kababayan to the health protocols, and basta maingat po lahat. And in fact, many people are already saying na tama na i-balance na natin yung economy, nasa tao ang pag-iingat, at maraming tayong nakikitang nagko-comply. I think it was research also that came out with a report over 90% ang nagko-comply sa face mask, face shield, distancing, and sanitation. So tayo naman, we don't want any surge or spike. Kaya natin propose ito dahil gumaganda pa rin naman ang ating mga COVID statistics. Kita ninyo, negative growth in NCR, flat growth in other cities. At tapos yes, merong mga nagpa-positive pa rin na slight positive, but on the overall, ano naman tayo, pababa na. So gumaganda yung cases at yung formula naman ng reopening, hindi naman nagli-lead sa spike. So, and at this time, I think ang pinaka-importante nga, yung hunger. So we have to really look into further relaxation, but with still very strict on enforcement and health protocol.
Okay.
Yun yung key dito. And then we can be assured na hindi naman mag-i-spike. Nag-worry tayo parati about that, and that's fine. Pero kung gumagana naman, kailangan bigyan na natin ng chance yung remaining part ng economy to get back to work, mabuksan yung iba pang mga remaining establishments.
But, Sec Mon, let's talk about the numbers very quickly, kasi we're still averaging more or less 1,600 cases per day. Hindi ba mataas pa rin po yun?
Well, compared naman dun sa dating 4,000 cases a day, I think it's about time then na uh, ano tayo, parang risk management, hindi na tayo risk avoidance. Yung ating, we've been saying this since before December last year. We already adopted a program na unti-unti dapat magbubukas tayo kasi minamanage na natin naman itong COVID. Kasi kung the more itutuloy natin yung strict quarantine natin, talagang imagine natin yung mga wala pang trabaho ngayon. Siguro
Yeah.
interviewin natin,
Yeah.
1.6 million ang hindi pa rin nakabalik sa trabaho compared doon sa statistics before the pandemic. So kahit nagluwag tayo, nag-open tayo ng sectors, may mga 1.6 million pa po. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Yung hunger, malnutrition, yung malnutrition nila will lead to other diseases. Remember, pakita rin noon statistics ang NEDA at saka ang DOH na yung COVID cases napakaliit compared to the other diseases na nade-develop ngayon. Out of hunger, out of malnutrition, stunted growth, affecting the intelligence ng ating mga kabataan, and other social issues also. Pag walang trabaho, may risk ka rin sa security issues. So, dumadami na po rin yung ano. So binabalanse lang natin ito lahat.
But let's talk about this, Secmon, no? If we shift to MGCQ, more or less how many jobs will be generated?
Okay, so combination din po 'yan. Well, una-una, yung proposal natin and yung present ng NEDA sa ating Pangulo ay i-discuss pa ito, hindi pa ito na-desisyonan. In-endorse po ito ng IATF. And in the IATF, balance rin po ang views niyan. We considered health. We always considered also yung impact sa security, yung impact sa economy. So the bottom line proposal recommendation to the President is such, no, yung mag-MDCQ na. But of course, pag pinag-iisipan po ito ng ating Pangulo at maaaring ma-discuss ito sa darating na cabinet meeting. Ngayon, yung ang tanong ninyo kung ano yung benefit pa kung magkaroon pa ng MDCQ. Of course,
the jobs generated.
Oo, sa job generation, yung nabibitin pa natin na 1.6 million, malaking chance na makabalik sila unti-unti. Pero affected pa rin ito ng other factors. Kasi kahit sa natin yung sectors, meron tayong mga age restriction pa din. And imagine ninyo yung nandyan yung tindahan, nandyan ang supply ng mga produkto, wala yung demand kasi nga hindi rin naman nakakalabas lahat. So ang ating ding proposal kasama sa dahan-dahan na pagluluwag would be the gradual easing also of the age restriction. We work very well closely with the NCR. Ang NCR, mas conservative po sila, but we thank them dahil sila po nag-consider na rin mag-reduce ng age, minimum age from 18 to 15. So at least nandun na po ngayon base po sa decision po nila narinig natin kagabi, no? So yung ibang party pa ng ating population pigil pa. Yun yung sundutan natin aasahang pagluluwag ng dandahan. Na-defer po yung decision dati ng IATF, na-defer po ito yung 10 years old and dahil nga po for fear of the new variant. So yun tinitingnan natin ngayon kung magka-spike ba, mamamanage pa ba itong cases ngayon. But we are seeing naman na wala rin again spike. So nire-propose po uli natin yung pag-consider sa pagluwag po ng age restriction. Again, when we say naman luwag ng age restriction, hindi lahat po yan maglalabasan. What we're encouraging really is more of yung family bonding, family bubble, going together, at even yung mga ating mga nagtatrabaho na hindi makatrabaho ngayon dahil hindi maiwan yung bata sa bahay, ay magkakaroon na rin sila ng chance na maghanap ng trabaho at magkaroon din buhay.
Pero, Sec, to be clear, ano ho ba ang recommendation ng age restriction ng NEDA? Because sometimes it becomes a little confusing already. I do know that the Metro Manila mayors are allowing 15 to 17, di ho ba? That decision was made prior to when they actually opposed the opening of the cinemas. But I believe NEDA, ang gusto po ng NEDA is 5 to 70. If that is correct, sir, kayo ho ba yun din ang sinusupport nyo to age restriction na maging 5 to 70 ang makalabas ng mga bahay?
Yes, correct. Yun din po. It's similar to our proposal, if you remember, parang 3 weeks ago or a month ago, na luwagan nga itong age restriction para, may option man lang yung ating mga kababayan na kung gustong isama yung anak, pwede namang isama. Again, with parents who hindi ito lahat maglalabasan. Ang iniiwasan din naman natin yung walang gumagabay sa ating mga kabataan na nandyan lang sa labas. At ang importante ho, at least may option na sila, magpupunta, may bibilin, mapapagamot. Lahat po ito mga pwede na nilang gawin magkasama ng magulang. So, and the 5 years old to 70 years old is supported also by us. But again, we are proposing this to the cabinet and also to the president.
But how do you see this proceeding? Because let's talk about, supposedly the opening of the cinemas, arcades, museums, etc., which was supposed to begin Feb 15, and then nagsalita pa yung Metro Manila mayors, ang sabi nila, sandali lang, hindi kami komportable dito sa cinemas dahil nga enclosed, etc. There has to be guidelines set by government, possibly coming from the DOH and also the LGU. So, cinemas lang po yun. And then now here we are going a step further from GCQ. Government is proposing, NEDA is proposing, yourself as well, na gawin na lang muna nating MGCQ. It might be a tall order. What do you think, sir?
Okay, yung mga sectors, cinema, museum, and parks, lahat po yan ay na-approve sa IATF at in-endorse natin ngayon sa Presidente. So wala naman tayong date na binigay noon na bubuksan. Ang isang napagkasunduan din po ay we will develop the implementing guidelines with the LGUs. At yun naman po, binigyan na namin ng draft ang LGUs, particularly yung mga Metro Manila mayors, para ho mag-suggest pa sila kung paano pa natin mapapasigurado ang pag-iingat ng mga pupunta dito sa mga establishmento na to. On all the other sectors, mukhang okay na sila. On the cinema naman, hintayin na rin natin lahat yung magiging decision ng ating Pangulo. Kino-consider din ho yan. But all told naman, at the IATF, binalanse rin ho yan. And in fact, it was the technical working group with the DOH there, DTI, DOLED, DOT, and other agencies ang nag-develop na ng implementing guidelines na mas mahigpit. Pagpairal ng mas magandang ventilation, mga check dun sa mga employees, etc. At so meron ng draft implementing guidelines. Ang gusto natin ngayon, dahil i-implement din sa Metro Manila rin ito at saka sa ibang LGUs na under GCQ, ay to work out finalize this implementing guidelines.
Yes, because I think the deadline is set for, March 1. But what I'm trying to ask, Secretary, is this, dun sa cinemas pa lang, nagkaroon na ng strong opposition from the Metro Manila mayors, obviously, who have a say kung anong gagawin sa kanilang mga cities, And then, here comes NEDA with this proposal, taking it a step further, that we shift to MGCQ by March 1. What I'm trying to say is, sir, baka ho, nakikita niyo ho ba na posibleng mahirapan na kumbinsihin ang mga local government officials to shift to this lenient MGCQ?
There's always that discussion. But I think lahat nare-realize din yung statistics that's showing right now that even in Metro Manila, kahit nagre-recover na yung buong bansa, lowering, let's say, the hunger rate at about 14.9%, naiwan ang Metro Manila to 23.3%. Ibig sabihin, mas maraming nagugutom sa Metro Manila. Even if you talk of unemployment, bumaba na sa 7.7 for areas outside Metro Manila. But in Metro Manila, again, it's 12.4. So malaki ho talaga yung impact ng ganitong mga statistics dahil ibig sabihin talaga nito, lalong dumadami yung urban poor, maraming nagugutom, maraming magkakasakit, marami yung mga problemang lalong haharapin ng ating mga Metro Manila mayor. So, I think we see naman that there is a consideration, lalo na kung paiigtingin, malalo pang paghihigpitin yung mga health protocol para ma-address naman, ma-manage natin yung mga ganitong dahan-dahan na reopening. So, hindi naman po, I think, yes, merong mga mayors din na mas magiging stricto. But at the end of the day, kung papayagan ho ng ating Pangulo, I think yan naman ho ang kailangan mag-prepare tayo for that. It's in the implementing guidelines ang kailangan nating higpitan.
Yun pong sinasabi ni Congressman Joey Salceda, Secmon. I know really the wisdom behind this. We need more people out. We need more people to get back to their jobs or to find jobs. They need to earn a living. They need to feed. We need to feed our families. Ano po? Kailangan po umikot ang pera. But one point that Congressman Salceda was saying, opening the sectors, in so many words he was saying, it does not necessarily or automatically mean that people will go out and spend.
Correct. That's true. But at least you're giving that option. And for example, pag sarado yung sinihan, ito yung feedback din from the movie houses, talagang sarado, tapos, but they are still trying to maintain their employees, sinisweldohan 1 day a week.
I see.
Okay? Oo. Pero
May
pag
kita.
bukas yung sinihan, may walang nanunood, sinisweldohan nila everyday. So, yung mga nagtatrabaho doon, at least may magandang kita na. So, yun yung difference ng keep it open. And, inaaral din natin yung mga open. Open ang sinihan naman kasi sa MGCQ. Remember, 8 probinsya and Metro Manila na lang ang under GCQ.
Yeah.
Dun sa mga MGCQ areas, open lang sinihan, 50% if I remember right. Kahit bukas yan, and ang bilang po natin, may mga 548 na sinihan dun sa mga MGCQ areas. 148 lang ang nag-ooperate. Hindi naman mandated na lahat mag-operate. 148 lang nag-operate, pero at least merong mga bukas na gano'n.
Okay.
And ang mga nanonood, ang capacity utilization, yung ibig sabihin yung number ng tao, 1%. Wala pa sa 10%. Pero sabi nga ng mga sinihan, at least bukas ho at merong napapasweldo nila yung tao nila. Na-realize nila, lugi pa rin sila. Pero meron din silang hurdle na kahit may number na binigay, kahit apat na po, 40 people lang ang manood, break even na sila. May mga ganong numbers silang tinitingnan na at least makasurvive lang din. Everybody's in a survival mode.
One last question, Secretary Lopez. There's really this concern and this suggestion. Hintayin muna natin yung vaccine rollout bago tayo mag-shift sa MGCQ. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so ito again, sinasabi nga natin, itong pagluwag, safe naman natin ginagawa. We've proven that last year. So I think safe pa rin nating ituloy ito kahit parating pa lang yung vaccine. Kasi kung by the time dumating din yung vaccine, sabihin mo na in the next 2 months, yung bulk maybe in the next 4 months. In the meantime, again, itong mga sakit, yung mga kaso na nangyayari because of hunger, malnutrition, pag stunted growth na, tinamaan ka na ng sakit, in more specific na mga sakit na dumapo sa iyo dahil sa kagutuman, etc. Hindi na ho nare-reverse siya, irreversible na po at kawawa yung ating mga kababayan. At saka may survey na rin po tayo na nakuha, ito ho, na-report din ng NEDA. Dati mga 39% lang nagsasabi, balansehin natin. Ngayon, 73% ang nagsasabi na balansehin na. In other words, gusto na rin ho nilang magkaroon pa ng mas marami pang opportunities para iwasan yung kagutuman. Again, nasa tao yung pag-iingat. Alam naman nilang mag-iingat na ngayon. Nasanay na sila. And thanks to our strict protocol, salamat din sa mga mayors na yung enforcement nila talaga yung napapatupad nila to the best of their ability. So, lahat po ito nagtutulong-tulong. At saka lahat nung pag sinabing pwede na lumabas, hindi naman lahat yan lalabas agad.
Okay.
So, at least may...
Trade Secretary Mon Lopez, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And when we return, we talk to one of the experts from the OCTA Research Group, Professor Guido. He joins us live. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Let's now talk to OCTA Research Fellow Professor Guido David. Professor David, welcome to The Source. I'm going to ask the first question already. So, you told me narinig niyo po yung interview kay Secretary Mon Lopez. Let's try to break it down because if we really look into yung sinasabi ni Sec Mon na ang dami na nagugutom, malnutrition, madami na rin nagkakasakit dahil na rin sa gutom dahil nga walang trabaho. That's why there is really a need to open the economy some more and shift to MGCQ. Your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. We have suffered a lot sa pandemic nito, and not just us, but many countries around the world. And we don't actually oppose yung easing of restrictions sa business sectors. In fact, we support them, not all of them, because we believe that what the government has been doing for the past several months has been effective in NCR. And that is gradual easing of restrictions, balancing it with the public health risk. And that's we've been successful at that because we haven't had the surge. Even the holiday surge didn't happen. So, but we are concerned that right now, if we relax everything too quickly, there is a serious threat still upon us, and not just the virus, but even the UK variant. And we're still doing biosurveillance at the moment, trying to track how many of these UK variant cases are in here. So, like I said, we believe in balancing public health risk with opening the economy.
Okay, so when you say relaxing too quickly, what should the recipe be? How should this be addressed? How can we generate, have more people get back to work without really having to somehow suffer the consequences in terms of health?
Well, of course, the best way to do this, Pinky, would be to have the vaccine rollout as quickly as possible. And some of the government officials, including Joey Salceda, already mentioned it. Even Joey Concepcion mentioned that we will have a lot more confidence once the vaccine rollout starts to happen and it is working.
Yeah.
So even if we open the economy, consumers will still be reluctant to go out and and enjoy or travel because of the threat of the virus, and they're aware of that. I mean, even if we don't talk about it, but of course, it's our job to talk about the risk factors. So the vaccine role is one of them. But as far without the vaccine yet, I mean, we have been doing it gradually, opening certain sectors and doing a hammer and dance approach, which is we recalibrate our strategies based on what we're seeing. If we see for example, a spike in cases, we can recalibrate and adjust back. And we have that capability precisely because we're still under GCQ. If we move to MGCQ, we may lose that capability to be more effective in the hammer and dance approach because we're just opening up everything too quickly. And if a surge happens, will we be able to handle it? And that is an important question to ask.
Right. But when you have replies such as, hindi naman talaga nagka-surge, where, if you look at the numbers, sabi nga ni Sec Mon, from 4,000, now we're below 2,000, averaging about 1,600. It doesn't seem like right now, Professor, there are problems in the hospital. So in fact, I know you heard the interview. Sabi ko nga, why not wait for the vaccine, as suggested by some? Sabi niya, well, the bulk of the vaccine might come in 4 months pa. So you're looking at what, possibly the third quarter of this year or end of the second quarter. So he's comparing it to, yun na lang siguro, very simply, dun sa mga nagugutom dahil walang trabaho.
Yes, and I understand that, Pinky, but there are ways to look at this. We can look at the now, and what OCTA normally does is we look into the future of what could happen. And right now, things are okay in Metro Manila. Yes, we did not have a holiday surge. But I will mention that there are actually, if we look at the 3 major metro areas in the Philippines, and that is Metro Manila, Davao, Metro Davao, and Metro Cebu. Two of those did not have a holiday surge, and that's Metro Manila and Metro Davao, because those were under CCQ. And Metro Cebu had a holiday surge. So we actually have seen it happen, and it could potentially happen in Metro Manila also. I mean, Cebu City had less than 10 cases per day back in December. And after the holiday surge, they now have more than 200 cases per day in Cebu City alone. So the potential is there. And we did simulations, and we see that if a surge similar to what happened in Cebu City happens in Metro Manila, then from 400 cases, we'll be up to 2,400 cases per day in a matter of 36 days, if we go with the same rate of infection that we saw in Cebu City.
What kind of scenario do you see? Are you looking at in the event that the president allows us to shift to MGCQ by March 1?
Well, yes, Pinky, like I mentioned, there is a possible threat of a surge because aside from relaxing restrictions, we also give the messaging to people that things are okay and that they could go out. And not everyone will be going out and having, and traveling, but some people will. And because of the density of Metro Manila, the risk is actually even greater than in Cebu City. So the scenario that we mentioned, it may or may not happen, but it will always be a possibility. And that is what we are concerned about. That, in 1 month, we could be, our caseload could be increasing to more than 2,000. And then we would have to go back to a stricter quarantine like MECQ to stop it. And that is more costly in terms of, in economic terms. And that's more damaging to our economy. And we want to avoid that from happening.
So there's still no decision on this. It's a recommendation. The president will ultimately decide on this. In the meantime, OCTA Research Fellow, Professor Guido David, thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Pinky.
Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.